Hey guys, welcome back to Creep Softly Studio. Today I'm going to be working on a project. I saw this video about 3 weeks ago from A Vision in Vintage. I will link that in the description box below. She put a frozen Charlotte in a cardboard box and decorated it and did some really cool things, and I was really inspired by her video and wanted to create my own version with a wooden box. So today's video I'm going to be working on that. Alright, so I started out with this piece and I just cut this out with a drill bit that kind of looks like this. Kind of necessary for a wooden one, but you could, this is a pretty thin piece of wood, so you could just use an X-Acto knife and just trace over and over and over. It'll take a while, but even this method took a little while because I went slow so that it could slowly go through. But yeah, so I'm going to be removing all the hardware off of this because I don't want the big clunky hardware. I'm going to be kind of rounding off these at these corners a bit and adding some clay and different things. So I'm going to be doing mine a little bit differently than she did hers. She used the cardboard box and or the chipboard box, and I want to make mine a little bit more detailed and add some different details in there. So, but I love the idea that she had to make the little frozen Charlotte peekaboo viewing coffin box. That's just, and when I saw her video, this is like, I immediately thought of this little guy because I've had him in my collection for a really long time. You can tell he was pretty messed up when he was made because he's got like chips of stuff stuck to him, and then this is something that was baked in and looks like it was probably in the clay, and then when it was fired it baked out. So, you know, and then he's got broken pieces and his nose is chipped off, but like he's pretty kind of creepy looking because he's got that little bit of age to him. So I think he's going to be a great figure to go in there. He's kind of creepy. Anyway, so we're going to get started on this. And I have cut this hole, but I kind of want to elongate it a little bit at the top and a little bit at the bottom to kind of give it more of a oval-y sort of appearance. And then I'm going to be working on that. I may bust out my multi-tool, put a little sanding bit on this, and go to town on it. Okay, so I've got this all sanded down real good, and so it's nice and smooth, and then I just went and marked in the same positions here on each side and kind of hollowed those areas out so that I could put these little magnets in there so that they're far enough down that they can be covered over with some milliput. Stuff here is a 2-part epoxy clay, but it's water soluble, so it washes off. That's why I like it much better. It dries super hard and strong. So yeah, I'm going to put that on there. But first I was drawing out some lines, and I did get this all sanded out into the shape that I want it, and just drawing a little bit of a guideline around here because I'm going to put some milliput on the top to kind of raise that center area up and make kind of a bezel around that window, and yeah, kind of smooth it down and then attach those little things there. So it doesn't take very long for milliput to set up, so I'm going to go ahead and mix some of that together. I don't know if you know what milliput looks like, but it is a 2-part clay, and you break off equal parts of the clay and then you mix them together. It's very sticky on your hands, but you can use water to kind of smooth it around and then wash off the excess. So you put it on, you smooth it out, you let it cure for a little while. So here I'm just working on the details on the front of the coffin, and I kind of took some inspiration from some antique coffins that you can find online. So I just thought I'd show you some of the inspiration pictures that I was sort of loosely basing mine off of. So I'm just adding the clay to the front and using water to smooth it down into the shape that I want it to be in. Okay, so I've got the bottom of the box kind of sanded down a little bit, and I got this piece glued in. That's just a piece of acetate from a box, and this kind of goes together pretty easily and creates a cute little box. So I want to kind of dome this plastic a little bit, and this might completely mess it up, but we'll see what happens. I have this little glass dome that I'm going to be using kind of like this. I'm going to heat it up with a little heat gun. See what happens. call that good. Got a little bit of a dome happening there. I like it. I think it looks cool. Awesome. That worked out all right. We just gotta paint the box and work on that a little bit. Oh, I like it. Now I just super glued that down, and I actually tried shaping one of these before I did that, and the edges kept rippling up, and so then I realized I needed to glue it down first, let it dry completely, and then use it to push down, and so I could get a nice even smooth dome there without the edges rippling. So that's an important step. So now it's time for some paint, and I am using an acrylic paint for this. This is an acrylic enamel paint that dries shiny, and so I'm just brushing it on, and as I'm doing that I am continuing to brush over lightly the parts that I've already brushed, and the reason for that is that I want a kind of a light sheen, but more of a satin finish to that sheen. I don't want it to be glossy. Let that top part dry, and then I'll do the bottom. Okay, so I've got this painted, and I've left that not painted because there's going to be fabric in the bottom. And then I painted this part, and I actually ended up, let's see if I can show you this. Oh, here. You can kind of see it that way there. Kind of doing a edging in black on the plastic on the inside. I didn't do it on the outside because you could see it, but just to kind of make it look older and, you know, like soot or whatever has stuck in the edges. Anyway, I think it'll look pretty neat. Once you get that on there and you got kind of like that edging. Anyway, yeah, I think that's gonna be cool. Alright, so I'm going to take some cheesecloth that I have wetted down, and I squeezed out all the water so it's just damp. And then I'm going to take my Tim Holtz Distress Mica Stains, and I have a Halloween pack of colors. So there's like a kind of a dingy gray brown, then there's like the Wicked Elixir, which is a green, and I'm spraying that down. And you can get some really good dye splotchiness, and I'm going for kind of like a bed of moss almost. So this is called Decayed. It's kind of a brownish grayish sort of, and so I'm just kind of splashing that on here and there, and then I'm going to wad up the fabric to kind of mute those colors and get them to kind of move together a little bit. So this has kind of like a sheen to it, but once you kind of work the fabric a little bit, it causes it to be less of a sheen. Once it dries, you can't really see that kind of sparkliness. Plus I'm playing with it a lot with my fingers, so I think the mica in the spray is kind of sticking to my fingers, so it actually turns out pretty well. And I do recommend that you open this up pretty good, because if you don't, you get, you know, areas that aren't dyed. But you can always go back and kind of move it around and respray it, so it works out. So once you're done and you're happy with what it looks like, you can just lay it out flat to dry until it's completely dry. Okay, so as you can see, I used that cheesecloth that I dyed, and I just kind of tucked it in there and kind of bunched it up underneath, and then I put the doll in, and then I added some different colors of mosses, some browns and some greens, to just kind of punch up that kind of aged and very cool look. And I think it turned out pretty cool. We've got our little frozen Charlotte in there, resting at peace. Very cool. So yeah, please go check out A Vision in Vintage. I have her video linked in the description box below. Watch hers. She has some really cool ideas in hers, and you might find some ideas that will take you in a different direction from what I did. And thank you to her for sharing her creativity and her awesome video. And I appreciate you guys for watching. Hit that like button and that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Keep it creepy.